I'm already breaking my new backdrop and my new little setup here, my new little hangout in my new apartment. It's halfway complete. It is not all the way complete yet. We're still getting to that. There's actually bullhorns up there, but you can't even see them because I can't back up the camera enough because I centered it on this wall and there's a wall right there. But we're going to do another whole video of a whole room tour when I complete that. It's a mess, all frame, completely a mess. But let's actually get into this video and what this video is going to be about. This video is going to be a wrap-up of my tournament yesterday, which I got third place in, and it's also going to be a little fun, a little cool, little weird story video for you. So it all starts out yesterday. I got up at 3:30 in the morning to drive to a tournament that was 2 hours away with my girlfriend's father. And when I got into his Suburban, I set my bag on the ground. I didn't notice it, but my waterproof GoPro housing fell out of my bag in his driveway. Got to the tournament, went to grab my GoPro and I put the housing on it because the final battery had finished charging. And it turns out that I didn't have my waterproof housing, so I was freaking out about that because it was raining. We got out on the water, and I was with a boater named Wayne. Now, Wayne was an awesome guy, completely awesome guy. He was awesome to fish with, and he fished a lot of the same way that I like to fish, so it was kind of cool. About an hour and a half into the tournament, I still hadn't had my first fish. Wayne had two, and he had gotten those on a Kitech Swing Impact Fat. I believe it was the 4-inch on a football head, just dragging that over the bottom. I was doing that for a while, but I couldn't. Usually I'm pretty good at doing that, but I couldn't get into the roll of it. It's hard to do it when you're in the back of the boat, even though he offered me to come sit at the front of the boat with him or fish out the front, but I wanted him to have his space up there. It's his boat. So it's kind of hard for me to do that. And about an hour and a half into the tournament, I got my first fish. So I got it on the plopper 130 in the bone color, and he literally hit it right up on shore. Probably 2 foot from shore and about 2 feet of water. We saw his belly flash, a big white belly flash, and it was the kind of topwater explosion that you have wet dreams about as an angler. And to be completely honest, we pooped ourselves a little bit when that thing blew up on that topwater, and we were freaking out. I thought it was a giant smallmouth, or I just thought it was a smallmouth in general. We ended up getting into the boat, and Wayne is going to net it because we didn't know how good the treble hooks were into him. And he nets it, and we get it up, and we see that it is a 4 1/4 basically largemouth. And he started hugging me. He was so happy, and we were so excited. And we couldn't stop talking about that blow up. We really couldn't. Because out on the water, you have to understand, it was anywhere from constant 15-mile-an-hour winds to like gusts up to like 20-plus-mile-an-hour winds. Like there was whitecaps that we were fighting. And where he blew up, it was completely calm water on the backside of this one island. And it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. But second fish comes around. We're on another island. And I got that one on a chatterbait, probably about 15 foot of water. I cast out half-ounce chatterbait because I saw there was weeds on the graph, probably about 10 foot below us. So I let it sink, counted it down. And I started dragging that thing right above the weeds. And I felt the tap, but he didn't take it. I set the hook a little bit, but he didn't take it. Kept retrieving it, and probably about 3 foot from the boat, if even, as I brought it up, completely attacked it, started pulling it down, 1.5 pound smallie. Got him in the boat. That was my second fish. About 2 minutes later, casted the plopper yet again up onto shore almost, or like way up onto shore, and I hook into a little fish, and I start bringing him in, and I thought he was little, but it turned out it was probably about 1.5 pounds, a little over a pound smallmouth. And as I lifted him into the boat with the plopper, I've grabbed the line with this hand, and I went to grab the fish with this hand, and the front trebles were in the front of his mouth, and the back trebles were in the back of his mouth. The back of his back. And I went to grab him, and he shook, and the back hook came out. The back hook went into my thumb, and the entire weight of the fish pulled down into my thumb. I didn't say anything to Wayne. Did not say anything at all. Except I started trying to unhook the fish from me because I was attached to the fish, and he wouldn't stop shaking. And I finally decided, I was like, all right, hey, Wayne. And he comes back, and I was like, I need some help. And he comes back, and he notices that the hook is in my hand. in the center of my thumb pad. And he starts freaking out. He's like, "Oh, what are you gonna do?" And I was like, well, let's get the fish off first. So he gets the fish off, and I was like, all right, grab pliers. We're gonna try to pull it out quick before it gets completely like swollen around it. We can't get it out. And he grabs the pliers and he pulls on it. When he pulls on it, it actually bent one of these back hooks. It bent one of these back hooks. That's how deep it was into me. And I'll show you how deep it was in a second. We'll do a close up. But we thought about doing the braid trick, but then we realized if we tried to pull it straight out with pliers, that the braid trick probably wasn't the best idea to do. He asked me what he could do for me after that, and I was like, nothing. I was like, just keep fishing. And he's like, you're not reacting to this at all. I was like, nope. And I took out my knife, and I took out a sharp, shaky head hook, and I started going down. I started digging into my finger because I wasn't about to go to the hospital when I had a big old largemouth in the live well. And it took me, Wayne timed it, it was 50-something minutes to get it out. And it was a little gross. I had Wayne come back and I had him hold the hook for a second while I tried to cut it off. And I had him try to cut it off. Like he had to look down, and I was like, what are you looking down for? He goes, man, I'm sorry, I don't get queasy easy, but I'm getting queasy looking at that. But I got it out, and my plopper was now blood scented, and cast after that, I got probably a 2.5 pound smallmouth on it. We didn't weigh that one individually at weigh-in, so I don't know how much it weighed. I'm guessing probably 2.5. It was in the picture I put up on Instagram. Go find me on Instagram, Rick Faubert, if you don't already follow me, that is. But that was my 4th fish. Now, I didn't have a 5th fish, and I was trying to throw the Kitech on a football head, because while I was getting this out of my hand, Wayne got 2 more on the Kitech football head, and I was messing with him, the fact that he was stealing my fish because I was doing surgery on myself. But we ended up going to this cove, and he got a nice one there. And we went back to the scene of the accident. I tried getting another one there in top water, and I couldn't. And we had probably about an hour left in the tournament. I thought about it, and I was like, all right, I can't get him right with the Kitech on the football head because the way the boat's going and the way the wind's going. So I was like, I'm going to try to drop shot it. And I've done that before. So I drop shotted it, probably second cast of the drop shot, and I got a good smallie, a really good smallie, probably another 2.5, pretty good smallie. I believe that's one's in my Instagram picture, that smallmouth. And I got him in, and I had my 5th fish, and I was like, all right, I want to try to get rid of that dink that I caught when I was hooked up to the plopper. And I missed cold, and Wayne and I realized that after, because we went to another spot, and I caught another one on the drop shot of Kitech, and we measured it, it was 14 inches, and I pulled the wrong dink out of the live well. The one I pulled out looked bigger, but when I went to put all mine into my weigh bag, it was, I noticed that I still had a 12-incher in there, which that wasn't too good. And me and Wayne realized that after. I mean, it wouldn't have given me much weight, that much at all, not that many more ounces. But at least it's good to cull things and not miscull. And I didn't have my cull tags with me, which is a big mistake. But we got to weigh in. We all weighed in. Another non-boater, Joe, an awesome guy. He had a rough beginning to the season, but once about last tournament, he started picking up, and he got top non-boater last tournament. He did real good. And this tournament, he did real good also. He basically had the same kind of day I had minus the hook in the hand. And he ended up getting 2nd place. I had 3rd place. The difference in size between his big largemouth and my big largemouth was the exact amount of weight that he beat me by. His was 4 3/4, and mine was 4.13, and he beat me by that much weight. Guy who won was Joe's boater of that day, and Joe's boater had I think a pound more than me and probably like 4 ounces more than Joe or something like that. You have to check on the website, Watershed Bassmasters, and that will have the complete results up in a couple days, probably about the same time I post this video. But all in all, it was a good day. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed going out with Wayne. Last term I went out with an awesome guy, Andy. We just couldn't connect with the fish. But it was pretty fun. Now I'm going to show you a close-up of these hooks. I'll show you how it was in my hand. Now, for those of you that have watched my channel for a little while, or those of you that know me actually, you'll know that I am a big whopper plopper enthusiast. I love these things. I've been using them for well over a year now. Probably about a year and a half. Like, basically since they first came out and were released by River to Sea. And these things are awesome. And the hooks on them are one of my favorite parts about them. Now, I have a huge respect for these hooks now. Because look at the size of the hooks on this 130. I mean, these things are absolute monsters. Now imagine that hook right there was in my hand. I don't know the best way to show this to you. But it was up all the way to the bend, so it was almost all the way through my finger, if that makes any sense. I could feel it touching my nail bed when I pushed down on it, and when I tried to move it in my finger, I felt it hit bone. So that was fun. So I had to cut it out of there. But these hooks are awesome. Huge respect for them, even more now. I actually think I see a little bit of blood on it. But this is fun. It was an awesome day. Still an awesome day, even though I hooked myself. It's starting to close up. It's a little swollen, so it's all closed up now. I had it wrapped up all day. But it's getting closed up. I'm going to keep wrapping it up. I don't have it wrapped up now because I'm letting it breathe because I just got out of work. But huge respects to these hooks now. Even more so than I did before because these things are insane. They will go in you and they will not want to come out. But thanks for watching. I'm sorry I messed up and wasn't able to film this crazy day I had. I wish I could have gotten this blow up on video, and I wish I could have got me hooking myself on video because that would have been interesting, but I probably would have gotten in trouble for graphic content if I were to do that. And I also should have taken a picture of it in my finger. That would have been pretty cool to take. Then that would give you a better understanding of how deep that was in me because it was all the way to that bend in the hook, like all the way to it. That's where it stopped in my finger because the bend stopped it. So it was pretty fun. It's a pretty fun day. So thanks for clicking on this video and watching it, and thanks for subscribing if you're already subscribed, and if you're not subscribed yet, feel free to do that. I put out weekly content. I usually put out one video a week, usually, sometimes two, depending on how I'm doing and like how I'm doing with work, and if I have time to make a video every day. I usually fish every day either way, but I film every single one of my tournaments. But I make tackle tech tips and all that kind of fun stuff, and this winter I'm going to be making a lot of tackle tech tips in this little studio here that I'm working on. So, whopper plopper is insane. Let's just put it that way. Now, thanks for watching. I'll catch you later.
Or just like hang the whopper plopper from it, like go up and hang it from it. Like, I don't know. Do something with the whopper plopper since the video was like halfway about it.